So my view is that, in fact, all these actors, from October 16th, 2009 onwards, felt that there was a serious problem. The problem here is that the press was the only one of these actors who could say so publicly. Why? Because it's their job. Because if Trichet or Papandreou or Juncker or Merkel went on the record on October 17th and said, whoa, this is massive, we're going to have to do something about Greece, then what happened in May 2010 would have happened a lot earlier, and it might have been a lot more dramatic. So while all these actors were considering the implications of the Greek problem, the press was the only one with a mandate and a job description to say so out loud. And also, journalists writing in these newspapers and talking on television and whatever, they didn't invent the problem. They were told that there was one. They did the maths. They saw what the exposure of European banks was to Greece. They looked at other countries that were similarly in trouble, like Ireland and Portugal and Spain. And it was their job to publicly make that information available. One could argue that it was the job of many of the other actors we discussed to make sure that information was not publicly available. Why? Because they didn't know what they were going to do about it. So as an EU official, you can't be on the record about a crisis or an imminent crisis unless there is some kind of plan being formed. And as we saw, it took them a very long time to come up with that plan. So the delay in the market response and the bailout was clearly partly caused because there was indeed confusion in the Eurozone among leaders in Europe, in the IMF, about what this meant. Secondly, it was a completely unprecedented thing. There was nothing, there was no clause in the Maastricht Treaty or the Stability and Growth Pact about how to deal with these things. And this is what many people have described as an architectural flaw of the currency, that they wouldn't know how to deal with it, and they had to make it up as they went. On the market side, and from people that I've interviewed personally, traders, bank economists, who were all advising people who actually held Greek debt during that period, there was an anticipation that if not the entire Eurozone, at least Germany would step in and directly transfer funds to Greece to save it from a default. And finally, there was interest in buying time and keeping Greece a bit on the side, so that banks that held Greek debt had time to either get rid of it or invest in the CDS market to ensure against a potential default or other terms that might have caused losses for them.